Hey everyone, welcome to Aerobic AF. I'm Ken.
And I'm Quinlan. We're pumped you're here. This is your home for running, fitness, and all things hybrid training.
New episodes drop weekly wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
And don't forget to connect with us on our Instagram at AerobicAFPod.
If you are listening to this episode, that means that Quinlan and I are on the ground in Stockholm ahead of HYROX World Championships. Shout out.
We've been counting down the months, then the weeks, and the days to be in Sweden for the 2026 HYROX World Championship. And yeah, we'll be here when this drops. So you could probably catch up with some story updates on how Sweden is going, but we're gonna chit chat about pre-Worlds and really get into another HYROX Happy Hour episode today.
I guess this is also my hard launch on the pod that in Ottawa we did qualify for World Championships.
Cheers to that. Here, we'll cheers our
drinks.
What are you drinking today?
I am currently on a local favorite, the Left Field Greenwood IPA. We made a trip to that brewery the other week, and really, really nice spot on an afternoon.
Love Left Field.
Yeah, great products. Like, we love the Greenwood IPA. Really, really delicious, and just like a local favorite. We'll definitely be back there over the summer. They had like a nice little barbecue situation going on there too, though.
They did. It smelled really good, but we had already eaten, so it was not in the cards. But I'm drinking the Squeeze Play. It is actually one of my favorite sours ever. I love drinking sours throughout the summer.
Sour.
Yeah, it's a rainbow sherbet flavor, so it feels like summer when I drink it. And I just realized on the can, 50 cents from each can goes to support like queer and trans children. So
happy Pride, everyone. Happy Pride. So we're going to kind of look through the Elite 15 race today. We're going to look at some of the inside numbers for the sport, and then we'll get into our own races. Q, you're obviously doing pro singles and mixed doubles. And now with our last minute qualification and being able to kind of work out some of the itinerary details, which is a little bit more tricky last minute.
A last minute trip to Sweden is very different from planning a last minute trip to Chicago where World Championships were last year.
Yeah, so we were able to sort all that out. Before we get into that, there was actually another HYROX event that's been going on for the last 2 weeks.
The biggest one ever
in New York,
North America.
For sure, yeah. Or in North America, rather. The New York HYROX has been, which is held at Pier 76 in New York, which is an outdoor venue. That was my first HYROX race.
There.
Yeah.
This was actually the first year that you did not go back.
Yes.
Why didn't you go back, Ken?
One of the reasons, funny enough, was because of the outdoor venue. I did find that there's a lot of variance that can happen there. It's hot. It's like it slows down the times. I think that there's just a lot of weather variables that can be up in the air, which is why I made a conscious choice not to go back there this year. Also, luckily for us, they did add a home race around the same weekend, so it was an obvious decision to go to Ottawa rather than going to New York for this one. As Leela comes over to take a nice long drink.
It's hot. It's hot today. So, HYROX New York was actually over 2 weekends this year, and this has raised a lot of questions around the new point system, because what we've learned is that over both weekends there has been 2 sets of flags and like podium celebrations, which is great. So you get your podium moment weekend 1, and then weekend 2 there's like a new round of that. But when it comes to the Elite 15 point system
and World Championship qualifiers.
Yes, 1 set over the 2 weekends, which it's, I think, rightfully so frustrating because it is a different set of conditions each weekend. And so automatically it's, I'm going to say, not fair if your conditions were better on one weekend or another. We already have this issue, though, today because sometimes pro races are spread out over multiple days. So this is not new, and so I'm not surprised that it's only one set of points.
But I think that you're onto the right path here. That it's much different having a pro race in Ottawa on Thursday and then on Saturday in the same indoor venue
totally.
than it is at an outside venue in New York, where ultimately the last day of racing, or one of the days of racing yesterday, ended up getting, or I guess I would be on like the Saturday, not yesterday because obviously this is going to drop later, but like on the Saturday, it actually ended up getting canceled. And some of our like top Canadian athletes actually weren't able to race. Maria Fetchik.
I know. I was really looking forward to seeing the race results from
who was her doubles partner again?
Leanne Gerard, who's another top Canadian HYROX athlete.
Who I think we'll be seeing in Sweden probably.
Yes, I think they were gearing up for big debut, first time racing together, and yeah, I mean it sucks. It sucks when a race gets canceled due to weather. I mean, we were talking about this, how
Reese too. Reese Fallon also, races got canceled.
When you're racing an outdoor event, these are things that are outside of your control, and there are certain weather systems that just draw the line in terms of safety, and obviously thunder and lightning crosses that line.
Especially at that venue, because I know you haven't been there personally, but it's like there is a huge metal structure of just like steel posts that, because it used to be like a shipping yard or something. So it's like there's these huge metal posts everywhere that are just like steel that basically create this kind of bird cage over the entire thing.
You cannot
It's
race
basically
there.
a giant lightning rod.
And then it also would have just been an awful race if it's outside and it's like a torrential downpour. I don't think anyone's having fun. So
that happened in Berlin too, I think, to them on that outdoor race.
But I guess they still did it because there was no lightning.
Yeah.
So
maybe it was okay. Maybe you're just super hot and then you run out to do the run, and I don't know. I can't imagine feeling like I don't like soggy shoes
in the rain. It feels slippery to me, and that's a hazard that I don't need to take on. But all to say, I mean, 30-degree heat weekend 2 is definitely a different weather condition than even like low 20s. I know it was still hot weekend 1 and weekend 2 because it's that time of year, but the heat was significantly worse. I think they actually were posting about it, saying to the athletes, like, please hydrate and please slow down and listen to your body because this is serious.
Well, it's like I told you when I was there for the first race, like I was really struggling because of the heat. And I went around on the first lap on the run, and I saw a guy. I was like, that guy is not doing well. He was like having trouble standing up and was kind of a little bit wobbly. And then the second time I came around, he was flat on the ground. And they also, by the way, just had their first, this is really sad, but it's like they had their first fatality at an event in Europe. It's like somebody actually passed away while she was competing.
It's a intense race, and if you are not taking care of your body, or it's like the wrong combination of things happen when you're pushing yourself at that level, heat can really amplify that, obviously. So definitely need to take your precautions there. And
that's why we all wear no shirts.
Yeah, that's why they're all topless.
That's why everybody's really naked competing.
It's really
it's really
and
hot.
You don't
That's
need,
what you have to say about that.
Well, it's really hot, but you also don't need to wear like a race bib like how you do in running events. So even the women are wearing their sports bras or like look like actual bras. It's like no one's wearing any clothes because you're so hot. Anyways, the one breakout performance that I do want to mention is Rachel Wade in the pro women's category. She won the whole event weekend 2 and had an incredible performance of like 1 hour, 23 seconds. So this is her 4th win in a row in a HYROX event. And
I'm snapping for
it's so impressive because the times from weekend 1, like the top 2 or 3 times were 105. And that was also very competitive athletes. Morgan Schultz, Catherine Fassbender, like they're representing the U.S. in...
Brittany Weiss, who you were head-to-head with in Ottawa.
Yeah, she was like a 106, I think. Yeah, it was a much different race for weekend 1 and 2, but given that it was so much hotter weekend 2, it's even more impressive that she just ran that time by herself with no one around
the
her.
second weekend?
Yes.
Oh my
which
goodness.
is why it's like, how the hell did she do that? And which is why I want to shout it out, because I'm like, this is so impressive. And like, I don't know if she will get into the first Elite 15 race of the year, because I think she still needs one more race of points to put her in contention for top 15.
It seems like she's on a heater, though.
Oh, yeah. So depending on how the race goes in Sweden, which I believe the points will carry over into next year.
I think my understanding is all races count for a full calendar year. So if you were to race in Sweden, your race would be good up until World Championships next year. If you race in New York, it would be good up until, like, I think that the points carry over.
I mean, the cutoff for race Elite 15 race 1, it's sometime in June.
Yeah.
That cutoff date. I believe it is after the Sweden World Championship, so I don't know if the race will count.
She might not be able to sneak in there.
Yeah, so we
might
not.
She'll be in weird Division 1 or whatever.
Oh, yes.
She
will.
actually probably what will happen is she will get into Division 1 and then just win that outright and get bumped up into the C15 race.
I think she's one to watch for sure as like an up and comer, and yeah, super impressive. But I think I would run New York purely for the vibes. I get that it's not a fast course because it's hot, but I love New York City and I really want to go next year. I just think it would be so fun, and I'm kind of on the bandwagon of let's do races and have fun, and we can save performance for...
Fine. Doubles only, though. I would never go there and run a singles race.
We'll see. We'll see how locked in I feel next year.
Mixed doubles or pro doubles, I'm like down for the New York trip.
Doubles is just more fun in general. Like, if you're hurting, you just say, here, you do it. And then your partner does it, and it's great. It's like our workout this morning. We did a doubles workout.
That was so hard for me.
I was dragging Ken around.
I was like, I can't, I don't even know how fast we were running. It didn't feel like it was crazy, but like in context, it's like I had a couple of good running workouts earlier this week and a good threshold workout earlier this week where my running was feeling really good. It was not feeling that great today for whatever reason.
I personally have felt that my running has clicked in the last 2 weeks, and so I did feel like I was able to take it up a notch on the runs, and we were running fast. So you're not wrong.
Okay.
I was going
fast. That makes me feel better. Well, I was running with you and like my doubles partner Max. You guys were both just flying. I was like, am I just slow today? I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I was running fast. I was trying.
Yeah, well, both of you were running fast.
I felt
was
pretty
like,
good.
This is why I feel so slow right now. So Stockholm entering this World Championship, it does feel, I think, a little bit different than World Championships have in years past. At the moment, like the E15 seems mega dialed, the level of competition.
Oh my God, yeah.
In all 4 divisions, that's pro men, pro women's, and the doubles respectively in both categories.
Yeah.
The level of competition has never been greater. We've talked a lot about the changes, but like they really seem to have pushed through now where it's like every major matters, like your rankings throughout the season matter. You have to just be consistently elite. And it really feels like they've now crossed a threshold where they like can be considered like that professional sport, and people are engaged and they're watching, and more athletes are competing than ever. It really feels like bless you.
Me.
It really feels like different in that way than even like, for example, last year in Chicago or the year prior in Nice.
I think more people just know about the sport and it's more popular. So naturally, when things are gaining popularity, you look at who's the best and who's at the top of their game in this event that seems to be selling out faster than Taylor Swift concert tickets. It's really awesome for the sport, and it makes me excited to actually watch the races when we're there. I was saying this to a few folks this week, but I actually didn't watch any of the races for the Elite 15 when I was in Chicago last year because I didn't know
that's also
anyone.
Understandable.
I didn't even care, really. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. They're just going to run really fast, and I'm going to watch from the stands. Like, I'd rather watch from home with a close-up video.
I think that we started talking about that, though. Like, even when you qualified for Worlds last year, like by winning the open division before they switched to the standards, you were kind of just like doing your normal training, and then it was kind of
I was
ramping
not
up
training
to Worlds
for HYROX.
Championships. You were like, I remember our first couple conversations. You're like, well, what do you think I should do? What shoe should I wear?
I think I asked you what shoe I should wear, and you were like, whichever ones you like running in, I guess. Like, I don't know.
I was like, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Shoe? But like,
I bought my race outfit that morning in Chicago.
Yeah, which is also now you're testing out the outfits.
I know it was
before.
a much different time, but I think.
But the interest now is like way more. Is
way
the
more
points.
Interest. Yes.
Like now it's like we watch every major almost live stream.
Kind
if we
of
don't catch the
following.
live stream because hours don't work, it's like we certainly will watch it the next day. It's always on the TV. It's like we're invested in these athletes.
Invested in their journeys, and a lot of them are honestly very relatable. I think that's what I appreciate, at least with the women who I pay obviously more attention to. They are sharing the ups and the downs of being an elite athlete and how they struggle and what their bad races, their good races, and I don't know, it makes me want to invest in their journey a lot more when they're sharing this type of vulnerability. I also think
it's
that
crazy
in order
what some
to
of these guys are going through, or these women are going through.
Yeah, but I think the reason why we're seeing a lot more vulnerability from HYROX athletes specifically is because it is such an expensive sport to participate in that if you want to be a professional and quit your job and go all in, you have to be sponsored and you have to be like an influencer. It's part of that, or you just have the means to do it and like you don't need to engage in any of that.
It seems
seeing
like maybe the top 5 in the sport have the ability to do that. But to your point, it's like everybody else is just normal people working regular jobs.
Everyone is being super honest and vulnerable and, you know, sharing their stories, sharing like how they got to where they are, their background, their this, their that. It's awesome as a spectator. I'm like, wow, we're just getting like a front row seat into this elite training, and you know the race itself demands so much of you that you have to put in the hours and the volume has to be there if you want to be at this level. So the amount of like injury and recovery and, you know, hormone imbalance for women, like it's so prevalent because everyone's like, holy shit, how do I sustain this output? And everyone's getting faster and it's stressful. And now I have to fly all around the world to get these points. And it's like a lot. So
you have to get the elite card and this and that.
Yeah. So that's why I also think that it's way more interesting this year.
This is actually a good segue because what we want to talk about here is like what the elite performance actually looks like. And one thing that I always look forward to is the HYROX Life always interviews every Elite 15 athlete to kind of see what their general metrics are for a lot of like the movement standards, so we can kind of understand what level of fitness they're at. I think one thing to note is that the year by year shift here is actually getting crazy too, even in conjunction with our last episode where we were talking about how marathoners are getting faster. People are learning this sport now. I know it's only about 8 years old now.
Yeah, people are getting good fast.
They are, and like
this
over
year
the last
especially.
year, over the last year, the men's average PB in the Elite 15 has improved by 1 minute 55 seconds.
Yeah, it's like a 2-minute average improvement.
Yeah, and women it's even more. It's almost 2 minutes 20 seconds that the average have improved by, which is such a big jump. And we've been seeing this over time, but this year it feels like a very, very quantifiable leap.
Yeah, and this is why I feel like this race rewards experience, because it is so complicated and there's so many ways to train for it and approach it, and it draws from so many different backgrounds of sport. Like, I don't think we still fully know what constitutes or makes up like a good potential HYROX athlete. And we're learning about it now, like as we go. So we've seen even marathoners transition, and it's not like every marathoner can transition into a pro HYROX. You need a significant amount of muscle in order to literally complete it. But the marathoners with that capability to build muscle are also proving like they are doing
a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they're doing amazing. Like any endurance-based sport, when you kind of hone in on these skills to complete the standardized movements, leaps and bounds again of time. And we're just seeing new names. We talked about Rachel Wade already, but we're seeing new names pop up like every few weeks, and it's really awesome to see. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, admittedly, heading into this race, because I have not been performing at my typical standard, and it's hard to say what the reason is why. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. But you basically need to be an easy 104 to be competitive in the women's races. I was around a 106. I assume to be now at a 109. I don't really know where I'll land, but if I could pull off a 106, I'd be thrilled.
I think that the couple of races that you had a 109, I think, like Ottawa, we know was a little bit of a slower course. Houston, I think we also understand this. Like,
there's a lot going on. Yeah, so I just flushed that. I'm not even going to count that.
If I was looking into the crystal ball, it's like I feel like this is going to be a good opportunity for you, because it's also generally these courses are built to be a little bit faster.
Maybe
you're
I'll
racing
take
on that pro grid. Like, it is like a faster course.
Maybe I'll take my own advice and be gritty and send it, see what happens. I also think I'm going to take my own advice again and actually have a gel on the course, because I've not successfully had a gel while racing a HYROX. I think part of it is stubbornness, because as a marathoner, I'm like, well, this race is only taking me about an hour. I'm kind of was taught to believe that you don't need gels or nutrition really post an hour, because you should have your glycogen stores topped up enough to get you through that. That said, as we talked about in our last episode, nutrition is a lever that everyone should be pulling, and I will take a gel, mark my words, in my solo race. I'm going to take one right before, and I'm going to take one, I don't know, after the row or something.
I might hide a pair of gardening gloves for the sled pull and farmer's carry.
Oh, you can just bring those with you.
Well, I know you just got to put them in your pocket, but
yeah.
I just got to keep them stashed away and then whip them out for the
I've thought about that too. Can you use them for wall balls?
I think you can.
You can't use chalk for wall balls.
Advisable.
I would have used them for wall balls when Lindsay and I raced in Miami. We picked up the ball and it was like slippery. I was like, whoa,
like,
this is going to be awful.
Maybe my doubles partner had it before, Max Robinson. He gets a little sweaty,
so
that
God.
ball can get a little slippery
awful.
at times.
I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, does anyone have a towel? Like, this thing is like impossible.
Usually I get when we do our doubles race, usually I'll do wall balls first, then he'll do the middle set, and sometimes when I get the ball back at the end, it has both my sweat and his sweat on it. No. And I'm like, that thing is like,
this is why we get
a little
sick.
Tough.
This is why we leave these races and everyone gets sick, because you're just it's gross. I don't want to think about it.
It's a greasy environment. All right. So if we're talking about engines, one way that we measure engine is like the row and the ski. Really fast times here. So the average E50 skier for the 2 kilometers, men 6:45, women 7:49 for the row. A little bit faster, not surprisingly, men 6:30, which is still quite fast. And then women 7:36.
Is this just in like a straight 2K?
Yes, just straight up 2K
time trial.
2K erg test. This is what they're getting.
And for those who are not erg experts, this is a pretty standardized distance for a time trial on the erg. I think maybe there's probably a distance version of that as well, but this 2K is actually very impressive. If we look at like what a 2K, like actually like varsity athlete rower would be doing, it is around the like 7 to 7:30 mark. So it's basically like you're rowing at the same rate as like a varsity athlete, which again, we talk about how HYROX demands you to be good at so many things. So it is very impressive watching the Elite 50, and you're like, oh my God, they're so strong. They're like elite level rower. They're all these things. They're super fast at running. Like it keeps it interesting in training, that's for sure. But yeah, those are fast, man.
No, and like you said, like the 2K rower is one of my most feared tests. It's like I am so petrified of that
I've
one
done
because
it a few times.
It feels so hard. I think my fastest was 6:42. So that's still about 12 seconds off where these guys are, just for context of like what a world championship like qualified athlete is versus what an E15 athlete is, and you really have to grind. Like that 6 seconds per 500 meters is the difference between pulling a 43 and a 37.
No, it
is
matters.
Quite substantial.
Like my main focus coming out of Chicago last year was to nail my ski erg form, and that has taken so much intentional practice. I'm happy to say that I feel a lot more confident on the ski erg now, but it's been almost a year, and my ski erg time is not like that much better or different, but these things take time. So you have to be so patient with yourself as you are, working on maintaining your strengths and your advantage, mine being the running, while also improving upon all these other skill sets that don't come naturally to you, right? So yeah, it's fun, but it's hard.
Yeah.
My God.
I think one thing that we've been seeing too is, and I think you had mentioned this earlier, is we don't really know what constitutes a professional HYROX athlete yet, because there has been a lot of variance. And I think that's one metric that you can gauge how dialed in a professional sport is when there's one archetype that kind of dominates. But at the moment, there's definitely been a transition in the last couple of years away from strength and more into muscular endurance. And one thing I found interesting is like looking at like some of the strength metrics for both the men and the women athletes. It's like they're obviously quite strong, but it's like there is like a certain threshold that they don't really push past. Like, for example, it's like for men, the squat is 134 kilograms, or like basically around 300 pounds for a 3-rep max.
Oh my God.
But like for context, it's like that's like less than like I would be able to do. So for the average...
Wait, what is your max squat?
It'd be probably closer to 330. Maybe
Really?
at its peak, it was like closer to 350.
I do not pick up a squat rack or whatever barbell that is heavier than like a 140 or 150 pound ever.
I think in like the middle of the winter, well, this is 3-rep max. I think my 1-rep max could have been closer to around 370 pounds.
That is crazy to me.
But I have thick legs.
Yeah, you do, but I like to think I have a strong lower body. I think it comes down to how confident are you in your form. I would not recommend anyone trying to do a 1 to 3 rep max effort if you do not have impeccable form, because that's how you're going to hurt yourself. And I know, like, obviously you go to the gym a lot and have good form.
I don't know if I call it impeccable, but
it
gets by.
I think my form is not bad, but there are more days than I can count that I leave the gym and the next day my lower back hurts and I'm just like, oh God, I was recruiting the wrong muscle group and that's not good. So I tend to err on the side of caution and go lighter. But yeah, I think we've talked about this before. there is a minimum amount of strength that you need in order to compete in HYROX. But once you hit that level of strength, it's
diminishing returns.
Yes, it's about maintaining the strength by doing almost the minimal amount of work, because as we've said, every extra pound of muscle will take away from your running speed, which is also very important in this race. So it's really difficult to figure out the balance. And we, as like, we're not coached by anyone. We go to the gym, we follow
not yet.
Not yet. We follow like the programming at our gym at One Academy in Leslieville, but
which is great programming also, by the way. It's like, I would say that it's like Jesse Bruce, like the head of our gym, does take an interest in like our training, and obviously is like
for sure.
been a mentor in that regard, and creates the programming for us. So it's like when we do say we're uncoached, it's like we don't have a formal coach that we hire.
Partial coaching. Yeah. I think anytime it's more of a one-on-one coach that you're paying like monthly specifically, it's different. But again, it's impressive how a lot of these athletes can balance the like right amount of strength. But kind of going back to what you said before about the specific archetype, something that I actually really appreciate about HYROX is that there are a wide variety of body types that we see performing at the top of their game.
They got some skinny boys, they got some thick boys.
And even the women, some of the women are like small, but really strong. And then you see more traditional, like strong, tall, short, like huge variety. Lauren Weeks, who is one of the top
versus
athletes,
Joanna,
but Lauren Weeks is small.
They're very different. Yeah.
Lauren Weeks is very small but super strong, and then Joanna is much taller, which I do think height gives you an advantage in like the ergs and some of the other movements. But when you watch Lauren floor it on the burpees, it's like, oh my god!
Watching Lauren Weeks do the burpees makes me want to vomit.
I'm so impressed. I'm like, damn, she's holding that pace on the burpees for like 3 minutes straight. Like, it's so impressive. But
when she does her doubles race too, she does the full first like 40 meters.
Yeah, she just sends it.
And I'm like, what is this?
It's really cool. It's really cool to see.
But then I guess it's because her running pace is slower. So she's actually like holding back like on her running paces in the doubles race versus the singles race. So she comes into the station feeling like, I'm feeling good, and then it's just a burpee bonanza.
Yeah, she just goes
see that alliteration there, burpee bonanza.
Yeah, that was fun to say. But as a female, more specifically, like when you are marathon training or training for running, there is a very specific body type that seems to dominate, and obviously working towards changing that narrative and encouraging like strength over thinness, and that, you can still perform at a very high level for a longer period of time with, I'm going to call it a bit more meat on your bones. But it is very difficult to keep the weight on when you're in the thick of marathon training versus a HYROX almost demands it. Like, you don't have the option to not keep that weight on to an extent, because if you don't, you just won't have enough muscle or body weight behind things like the row, the erg. Like, there's a reason why the 2K row erg time is significantly faster for a heavyweight rower versus a lightweight rower.
Yeah, Hunter's is like the best.
Yeah, weight matters.
Like versus Tim's, you might see a 20 seconds discrepancy there for the 2K test.
Yeah, so I think I'm just kind of going on a tangent here, but that's one of the reasons why as a female athlete, I really love participating in this sport, because I feel like it celebrates a variety of body types, and I don't feel any type of way about mine because I don't fit the traditional marathon body. So of course that can be triggering or bring things up for you. And anyways, I love to see it, and I'm super stoked that
And
I'm in this
HYROX,
world.
you were in the archetype. You're like that girl looks like she's got strong legs. Is gonna crush the sled push.
I know. I'm like, I hope I'm intimidating in that start tunnel.
I think one thing that I take away from looking at all the numbers, and I'll spare like the details of all these metrics, but the overall consensus is that these are strong numbers for like the bench, the deadlift, the squat for both men and women.
Yeah, for women, it's like 200 pounds squat, by the way, for those listening. And although I've said I've not tried a 3-rep max effort before, I'm typically around like 120 pounds for like 8 reps or 6 reps or whatever.
I think that you would have a powerful squat.
I could probably do more.
But it's not something that we test that often. But I think like the main like takeaway is that like these are strong numbers, but it's clear that HYROX rewards usable strength that you can access under fatigue over just having
just
big
straight up
strength.
Like it's very different from like CrossFit and powerlifting, where that demands more like just strength, like straight up strength.
All right, so if we're talking about like those are the main kind of takeaways about the E15 athletes in regards to
the metrics and kind of where they're
numbers. At,
how good they are,
yeah,
how far away we are.
Exactly. That's the main reason I was reading this article. If we are looking at the athletes in general, like in the E15 competition,
like a little preview of who we should be watching out for, maybe we can do a little prediction of what we think will happen in the race, maybe top 3, because the prize pool is substantial. I think it's 40,000.
It was like a 30 or 40K
goes to the winner. Like, it's not nothing. It's at least double of what it was last year. So these athletes are, they're fighting for the championship, but they're fighting for that money.
Okay, let's save our predictions for the ends.
Yeah.
But we can talk about some of like our favorite athletes in the space. If there's anybody that you want to bring up that obviously like or like someone that you're watching.
Totally, yeah.
Obviously for the men's, like there are a lot of favorites here that we love. My favorite's Alex Ronchevich.
I love him.
He's a good vibe.
He is a good vibe. And you know what? I judged him without ever having heard him speak. When I first saw photos of him, he kind of intimidated me. And for whatever reason, I thought he was going to be kind of an asshole. I don't know why. I just thought that. And he had the record, and I just felt like he had an eliteness to him. But then you hear him speak, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he has like a heart of gold. He's so sweet, and he's so humble, and he's not pretentious. He's not like,
he's
I'm better than you.
He's the opposite of Hunter.
No, yes,
and
he is.
And we love Hunter for his like flamboyant energy and like his
Hunter brings a lot of enthusiasm and energy to the sport that we appreciate.
And he definitely likes the attention.
And I like the cockiness too. Of course. I think with Hunter, I don't mind it because I really, as I said before, I love the drama. I love the grittiness, and I love that he just like takes no prisoners, and he's kind of like, if you're performing badly, like you're probably not fit. You probably need to get it together and like actually hire a coach, and you should hire me. And then I think to myself, I'm like, should I hire Hunter?
I think there was one race where he was like running. He was the front runner. It was like a major, like a while back. And remember he blew up on the farmer's carries and dropped like the kettlebells. And he ended up getting passed, I think, by like Scott and Ronchevich. And he was saying in the post-game interview, he's like, yeah, I felt like an idiot after, or I feel like an idiot now because I told like Alex and Dylan I was about to drag them into deep waters, and then I blew up in the middle of the race.
I love that. I love that.
It's like, it's a good energy. Outside of that, it's like obviously we have like Tim Winich, Dylan Scott, and our Canadian stalwart, Cole Learn, who I am so looking forward to seeing him perform. It feels like he is peaking at the right time.
He's so
is a
locked
dark
in.
horse contender, I think.
I think we can easily look to see him on the podium, or at least in the top 5.
I think podium is very reasonable.
This is how excited I am for this race. So I race Friday morning, I think around 8:30 a.m. So that's going to be an early-ish morning for me. The Elite 15 solo races are Thursday night, and I believe the men go off at 8:30 or 9 p.m., and I want to be in person and watch it. And that's how excited I am. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of my pre-race sleep in order to watch them. And yeah, I would love exciting. It's going to be super exciting. I would love to see Cole podium. I kind of want to see Ronchevich win, to be honest. I feel like I just want to see that for him. I don't know why. I think he deserves it. I think he's earned it. And if we can see Hunter, push everyone or just cause a little bit of chaos in the race, I'd be super thrilled.
I would love to see Hunter come out hot.
Oh, he will. He will.
He kind of gives me it's like a little bit of like the Lucas Storeth energy, which is like a little bit of a throwback, but he was the original HYROX champion. He won the first ever event.
Okay.
And he's a little bit of like, I don't want to say an elder statesman, but he is like in his like mid 40s now. And so it's like he's not able to compete at the levels that these guys are competing now. But he used to just be like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to floor it. And everybody's going to try to keep up with me. And he's like, if I blow up in the race,
then I blow up.
He's like, I blow up and it doesn't happen. He's like, but I'm going to try to make everybody else run the race that I want to race, and I'm going to control the narrative. And I really respected that about him. And it seems like Hunter kind of is in like the same place where he's feeling coming into this one, like he's at peak fitness, he's ready to go, and it's like, and he will be a contender. Like he'd be
for the podium for sure.
You'd be a fool to count him out as a podium contender for sure.
Something that Hunter has done as well is that he has not flown around to every major. He actually has participated probably in the least number of races throughout the year with the specific goal of peaking for this Sweden race. Now, I think that on one hand, that could be super smart because he's spending the time in these like kind of isolated periods to work on different skill sets and build strength or endurance or whatever it is, and not get caught up in tapering for a major or another race. But then on the other hand, he might have missed out on learning his competitors and what their race strategy is and how to execute against them on the world stage when it counts. So I'm interested to see how that works for him, because we know that as much as this race is about displaying your fitness, there's strategy involved in how you get the win.
For sure there is. And I agree with everything you said. I just think that Hunter doesn't give a shit. He's just like, I don't care what you guys are doing. I don't care that I haven't raced against you. He's like, because I know what I've been doing in the mountains, wherever it is that I've been training.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'm just going to roll in and I'm going to run my race. And
so he's going to do what... So I think there's two ways that you can enter a race. And I've oscillated between the two. On one hand, you can run an individual race against other individuals. You run your own strategy, your own pacing, and you do not get caught up in what anyone else is doing. You have a plan, you stick to the plan. If that works out, it works out. But then on the other hand, there's the person that goes in with a plan.
The race manager.
And adjusts their plan based on what everyone else is doing. I think in some ways that can be really smart.
Which is interesting because that's how Cole approaches the race. He comes in with his own plan and is like, I'm going to play conservative early. Everybody goes out too hot. And he's like, and I'll make my move at the burpees. And that's where he's been really successful this year.
Yes.
So it's like an interesting dichotomy between one of like the best American racers and like our king, our Canadian king, Cole, who's like, who races in that way.
It'll be really cool to see. And like we see it, Lauren Weeks do this all the time. She has been very vocal about how she goes off hot from the jump, but because she's running her own race, she doesn't care what anyone else is doing. She just knows that she needs to run hard from the get-go to have like a shot at winning, basically. So,
and it's because Joanna as well, like, well, we can get into the women's now. This is an easy segue. But it's because Joanna is like a much bigger athlete whose running has improved a lot.
She kind of dominates on a lot of the stations.
On stations 2 and 3, for sure, it is a destruction. Like, she is so good on both the pull and the push that it's hard for Lauren, as like a much smaller athlete, to make up that ground.
And that's where the body archetype does have a little bit of an advantage.
Although I would say we watched every major this season. And it seems like in the beginning of the year, I think Lauren might have won the first. No, Joanna's
won all 4.
The last one was the closest.
Yes. They put on a show in Warsaw. Yeah. It was so fun to watch that one. I would love to see what would happen if Lauren didn't go out as hot as she did. I don't know if that's even possible or if that thought has crossed her mind at all, but
I don't think so.
No, we're not going to see it. We're not going to see it. I'm not going to pretend we are, but you know, you have to think, like, is there some advantage that is on the table by conserving just a little bit or letting someone else lead and taking that mental burden away? I don't know. I would wonder that myself as an athlete, but you know, it's interesting just to see the different strategies.
It seems like she did adjust her tactics, like in the last race, though. That ended up being only a 20-second.
Yeah, it was really
gap
close
towards the end, and Lauren was like doing her wall balls and was kind of waiting for Joanna to break, and Joanna never broke. So then Lauren was kind of like, I'm not going to catch her, and she like dropped the ball at 80. So the gap did seem like it was like a little bit bigger than it could have been, but it was so close.
Yeah.
So close. And you can feel that she's been tweaking it.
It comes down to who enters wall balls first when it's that close.
Yes.
Like, you're not putting down that ball if you're in that head-to-head moment.
But to be clear, also, like, Lauren throughout the season has been closing that gap.
She has. She has definitely been adjusting. So, yeah, Lauren and Joanna will be really awesome to watch. Last year, neither of them won. It was Linda Meyer who won, which was kind of the upset, I think, of the season, given the Lauren-Joanna story and narrative.
And an insane result, given the results for Linda so far this season. Like, I would still expect her to be a dark horse candidate for a podium, but she had a really terrible race in the last major.
Yeah, she's been struggling, I think, a little bit. I do think we're going to see both Joanna and Lauren on the podium. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if they weren't.
Unless there's an injury, I don't see any way that's not a situation. I will say in the men's division, there's way more
variance.
Yeah.
It could be there's so many different people that could pull out the win. I do wonder about who's going to claim third. I think in the
women's.
Yeah, our European girlies, Lucy Proctor and Sinead Bent, are probably my 2 favorites in terms of who I believe could close that one. I know Lucy's struggled a lot this year, though, with her kind of journey to Stockholm. She's had a few disappointing results, but then she's also, kind of reclaimed that with some other races, so will be interesting to see how she performs on the day. I think she's also coached by Lauren Weeks, so that's nice to have in your back pocket. And then Sinead Bent is she won the London Regional. She's super fast. She just ran a 5K, 16 minutes and 20 seconds, which is so fast. So she's looking really, really good.
I still think for the women's, I would look at Lauren Weeks' doubles partner, Vivian Tafuto, as being...
Yeah, we can't forget about Vivian.
It oftentimes seems like in these races, it's Joanna and Lauren, and then Vivian, and then the field.
It's true.
So it's like, it'll be interesting to watch how that plays out in this race on the same course with like...
Same course, same day, head to head.
Yeah, I'll be interested to watch that. 2 athletes in the women's division that I'm fascinated to watch are Calypso Sheridan and your girl, Alyssa McElhaney.
Yes,
These are 2 athletes that like have just emerged onto the scene and were so fun to watch. God bless you. That were so fun.
Bless you.
God bless. The Calypso won, obviously, I don't know what they call it, the APAC.
The Australian one.
Yeah, the APAC regional. I think it was like Australian Pacific. And Alyssa McElhaney, like, I think also qualified maybe in the American one. Did she sneak
in Phoenix?
Yeah.
Which one was it? She's the marathoner that I was alluding to earlier. I think she just ran almost the Olympic or the Olympic qualifier standard. Like, basically, she's a low 2:30s marathoner. She's run a couple of HYROXs. She had a penalty of 2 minutes in her Las Vegas race because of spitting, which we've talked about a little bit on this podcast.
Not for any particular reason.
For no reason at all. But she is definitely one to watch.
I'm excited for it to watch.
Calypso is like, does every sport under the sun. And she has also recently quit her job to go full in on training for LA Olympics 2028. I think in maybe the biathlon. Like, she's been posting about shooting practice and fencing practice, and I don't know, she's doing 1,000,001 activities. Yeah. So she rolls up to a HYROX, and of course a lot of what she does in her other training translates, because again, this sport demands that you're good at 1,000,000 things.
I've seen the biathlon is like the one that's like with the skiing and the shooting.
Yeah, so what is LA, it? It's a summer. It's a summer version of that. I don't know what it is.
I've seen there's another one though where it's like you're running this thing and then it's like you have a pistol and you have to shoot it. It's like, it's crazy. But
yeah, she's
super impressive though. And it's like, and you know what I love about these two athletes in general is that when they're out on the course, they look like they're having the most fun in the world. I was
thinking that too.
They're all so smiles. Smiley. They're buzzing. They're like waving. They're just like Alyssa in particular. I was like,
I know.
She just seems like such a positive vibe.
I loved watching them race, and I was thinking of that too. I'm like, oh my God, they're both so smiley and so happy, and
happy to be there.
We know that they're digging deep. Like, it's not like they're just out for a casual jog. They are working extremely hard, but they're having so much fun.
And there are other athletes who look like they're about to see God
die
out there.
That's how I look. Like, actually, not always, but catch me on lunges. Oh my God.
Like Emily Dahman this year throughout the majors, like just kept coming, like
she had
just short.
We gotta mention her. She had such a difficult road to qualify in the Elite 15. She was in the Elite 15 field in Chicago, and then I think she was always finishing like just below the cut line of who was going to qualify. So when she did finally get her qualifier race, I believe in Warshot was like the last major of the year, she was so emotional and had this outpour response to the to getting the race result that she had worked so hard for. So I expect to see her all smiles in this race, because her biggest challenge this year was just getting into the field itself. Even though we saw her in a lot of distress in these races, because it was obviously very, very stressful for her.
There was a lot of distress.
It was hard to watch. I was like, please, dear God, let this girl qualify. She's trying so hard.
Yeah, and is coached by Hedy Wiersma, one of the top contenders. He obviously broke the world record earlier this year before Ronchevich took it back a little bit later. But a really strong competitor who was just on the cusp and just kept getting just edged out by 10 to 15 seconds at every major, it seems. So I'm happy for her that she made it into the field. And now she's going to have her wish and have an opportunity to compete against these top women. But as you said, it's a stacked field with Joanna and Vivian and Lauren. Lucy Proctor will be healthy, I think, which she wasn't at the last major. Sinead, Linda, we're expecting also to be healthy.
She had an injury, and she posted recently about not knowing how the injury was going to progress and if she would even be able to compete. But apparently she is back to full health, or most health, and so she's one to watch as well. I want to add in, before I forget, the Olympic event that Calypso is training for is the modern pentathlon, which involves fencing, swimming, obstacle course racing, running, and laser pistol shooting. So
that's as the pistol.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about. And obstacle course racing as an element of this event is actually making its Olympic debut, and it's replacing equestrian horse jumping. So it's super interesting. I mean, it feels very random. I don't know how they picked all these sports, but she's training for that. So you can imagine that is like a lot to train for. And then she just does these HYROX races and is in the Elite 15. It's like very impressive.
So I was just talking about aerobic engine
Oh
foundation,
my God. Yeah.
like what she's been developing over this time. And we see this with these athletes. It's like, even with Cole, for example, he was talking about on his Instagram about how he's been training for 10 years for this opportunity.
Yeah.
And now has finally been able to push through and seen the breakthrough, but
That's
it is
the
just
thing,
like a time.
That's
it's a
the
timing
thing with any of these breakthroughs. Like, you, as the observer, can say, oh my God, that just happened for them suddenly. Like, that means it can happen for me suddenly. And while, yes, that's true, we also need to acknowledge that there are years of preparation and like failure to an extent of like not seeing that breakthrough moment. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's so commendable and why we as people are so fascinated with professional athletes and sport, because it takes such a specific type of person to weather all of the like progress and steps back and moments where they doubt themselves or moments where other people doubt them and what they're doing. So now seeing someone, be very candid and talk about it it's great. And I have so much respect for it, and it's fun to see. So I really do hope he podiums. I would really love to see that.
It would be awesome to see it. We could talk about the doubles here. I think the doubles will take a little bit less time than the singles, because I do think that there's less parity here than there will be in the singles race. At least it seems to me. And the last year that this team is probably going to be able to compete together because of the new nationality rule that you must be from the same country.
Oh, yeah.
I think like on the men's side, Ronchevich and Winich are going to be the team to beat. This is not my official prediction. This is not my official prediction because we're doing predictions later, but
I'm going to put it in. It's my prediction.
Yeah, I think I might just do a little star next to that one. Those two are just arguably 1-2 in the sport right now in pro singles, and also now are teamed up together.
And they have really good chemistry. We've seen them compete together. They work really well together. They have a compatible skill set, which is important for doubles. And I think it's kind of similar on the women's side, to be honest, with Lauren and Vivian. I do not see a world in which they don't win.
Yeah, it's way less, I think, parity for the top spot. The second spot.
Second and third, I don't know.
A little bit more open. I do think for the women's as well, it's like Joanna drags. I don't want to say Jack drags. That's disrespectful. But I do think that her level of fitness with Jess Petro should be good enough to lock in seconds there.
So there's also some newer doubles pairs that we didn't see last year. Like, I believe Calypso also with her partner Meg. I don't remember what their time was when they qualified, but I could see them really giving the field a run for their money because they are a fast pairing. And in doubles, the running matters a lot because all of these women are exceptionally strong at the stations, and I do think there's a little bit less variance in some of that station work. Where you can make up a lot of time is running. So I'm excited to see kind of the fight for second and third overall for both the men and the women. And yeah, that kind of takes us, that'll be our Friday night. We're going to be at the venue all day and night Friday.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch that. And I don't think that Holly Archer and Saskia made it in, did they? Unfortunately.
Did not.
Yeah, for some reason, like the page I'm looking at, it has them in there, and I'm like, did they make it?
Oh,
I don't think so.
I don't think in the
I
Elite
think the
15.
page is wrong, but it's like I think that Calypso is in that spot because it says Saskia and Holly. But I was like,
Well,
I would be
we'll
super
have to
excited.
fact check this later if our source is correct because we think it's not.
I don't think that that's correct, but I would be like, just speaking of those two, it's like I can't wait to see their growth next year. Holly Archer is so chaotic on social media. It's
She's
amazing.
hilarious. I love her. She's become my favorite running fitness influencer.
Yeah, it's hilarious to watch. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the E15 races. How are you feeling entering your races for this World Championship?
Lest we forget, we're also competing in the age group category. So I'm competing Friday morning in pro singles. I think that for this race, what I would do differently than what I did in Ottawa was that I am going to push harder on the runs. I really took my liberties on the runs in Ottawa. I think I talked about this before, but I was racing a bit more strategically within my heat and was kind of coasting off of some of the other athletes. And so, it was just a different result for me on the day. But I know my advantage is on the running, so that's kind of my plan. I also talked about how I've been working on the ski erg, and my goal there is to keep my pacing the same, but feel way better. So I should be done the ski erg in like 4:40. If you see me come out of the ski erg in 4:30, pray for me because those 10 seconds probably cost a lot of energy.
That's RIP.
And that means I got caught up in what everyone else was doing. It doesn't mean it's necessarily over, but that would be a sign of like, okay.
She's getting dragged into something.
She's getting dragged into something.
Yeah.
I'm hoping my sled push would be 3 minutes, sled pull 4 minutes. Oh, well, probably more than 4 as it has been recently. So we'll just kind of see where things land after the sleds. And then in terms of like burpees onward, I do want to like be quite aggressive. So I think this could be a race where I might have a tough time at wall balls if all things go to plan. I expect to have to grind through that in the same way that I grinded through it in Vancouver and in Toronto, which were two of my better races overall. So I'm excited. I'm excited to actually send it more.
To feel rested, to feel fit,
yes.
To feel that a lot of the circumstances entering this race, it's like you're feeling grounded and fit and ready to go.
Totally. Because yeah, even racing in Ottawa, I raced like the morning after doubles, which was awful because I didn't get a very good sleep. I almost would have rather just raced it a few hours later on the day or something. Like it's hard when you have like 3 hours of sleep and you're really running on empty to push your body to the limit that it has to go to have a good result here.
And also running on adrenaline. Like part of the reason you had such a bad sleep is like you're up, you're elevated. It's like after the race, It's like you're trying to calm down your nervous system.
It was impossible. I do not like racing at night. If I have more races that weekend, it was not good. So yeah, I think that'll be fun. I am also doing mixed doubles on Sunday morning, so I will have maybe 36 hours between both races, which is enough time for some DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, to set in. So I do expect to be feeling some of that. And I think what's tricky about this is that I do believe I'm much more competitive in the mixed doubles category. So a part of me really wants to save some of myself for that. But I also really want to see what I'm capable of in solo. So I'm probably just going to end up sending it as much as I can in both races and just seeing what happens.
It sounds like a double send to me.
It's going to be a double send. So that's why, it's today's the 7th. The races kind of start on the 19th. So as of right now, I'm not planning on doing very much more heavy lifting or strength because that is going to just add unnecessary fatigue and like we're not getting stronger at this point. So kind of the plan from now until the race is keep things sharp, touch some of the stations, and just hope that everything I did the last 5 months will show up. I think it will.
Well, judging by your running this morning, it seems things are going pretty well.
That was a good confidence booster. I know you felt bad, but part of me was like, damn, I'm dragging him. This is fun.
I know. So, well, I'm glad that it had a positive side effect to the other way. Because I was like, I'm having trouble keeping up on these runs.
I think the funniest was when it was one of our last runs, and I could tell you were struggling on the run. I was like, I'm going to start wall balls. I'm like, never have I said that once in my life. I've never been like, let me. But I looked at you, I was like, oh, don't worry. I'll take the first 20 reps.
Honestly, and I usually have to start that station. So that was actually a nice reprieve to take that
like 40
seconds or whatever it was. Yeah, that felt good.
How are you feeling for your doubles race?
This is an interesting one because like the journey of this season has really been a roller coaster.
Yeah, you're like all the girls on Instagram like Emily Domin with like, holy shit, just getting to this start line was such a chaotic mess.
Honestly, like it seems like we thought that this was going to happen way earlier in the season in Vancouver. It didn't end up happening. Like obviously that race didn't go according to plan. And then after that, it was
you were kind of close in Miami as well. Like you were one spot away from qualifying in Miami.
Yeah, we finished second.
I know it wasn't the goal. It wasn't really the goal. It was like a side quest goal. Well, and then Ottawa was like, well, this could still happen, but we don't want to jinx it, so we're just going to see how it goes.
Well, I think that also, to your point, entering Miami, it's like I just didn't want to put all the pressure on.
Yeah.
Because it did feel that entering Vancouver, there was a lot of pressure, and we were kind of like, if we just run an average race for us, we should be able to lock in this qualification and maybe even win the event outright. Which probably would have happened, like, in hindsight, we don't have to go there, but obviously...
There was a few Elite 15s that showed up. Oh, you mean in Vancouver?
In Vancouver,
yes.
So that obviously didn't go according to plan, and then Miami. It was just kind of like, we're going to go in there and we'll try our best. If we qualify, great. We had a great time.
But typically, the American races are deeper fields always, so it's like,
yeah, and we were close.
Yeah,
but then Ottawa, it was just like not even really something that was discussed beforehand, or like there was no, I guess. It was expectation that this was going to happen. We're just kind of going in and just saying,
which is great. Remove the pressure, and the outcome that everyone wanted happened.
Exactly. So
and now here we are.
So we're going. We're excited. I will say that Ottawa race, I think, was a tough race, tough venue. I would expect us to be a little bit faster entering this one. It does also feel like this is the only race of the weekend. Like we had a lot of things on the docket that weekend, so I'm not sure that we were
probably saving something for the solo race, and the goal was like, let's just have a strong race and have fun together, versus I think on this World Championship stage, you're going to be in that warm-up zone seeing all the fittest people you've ever seen in your entire lives. And that's going to unlock another gear that you'll be able to access. And so it's going to be great.
I'm feeling ready to go into that sixth gear. Like like I am.
I feel
excited.
Ready too. I'm excited. I feel jittery. I'm excited.
I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling like, it's obviously last minute. So it's not like this has been a huge build where I'm like 12 weeks out going in, but I'm like, I do think that the fitness is there for both of us. I do think that we can go out and have a very strong performance. And to be honest, I'm just excited to be in that environment. Like what an opportunity.
Fun. It's really cool, and definitely not something to take for granted. I think the stat is like 0.5% of HYROX athletes qualify for the World Championship, so it's super cool. It's a hard thing to achieve, and you guys have worked really hard. We've worked really hard. This is the big celebration of fitness, and I think that's what I'm most excited for.
Yes.
So,
and I think this is an important part of this. Is like the training and everything that we do on the day-to-day is the grind. So then when you do have an opportunity to go and celebrate it with people who have similar levels of commitment and go to a destination like Stockholm and celebrate and enjoy and see an international city and be surrounded by people who have the same interests as you, it's such an exciting opportunity. And I am feeling like this has been a goal for a long time. I'm elated that we've qualified. I'm elated that we get to go and represent like our country and like represent our families. And
I have
like
so much red
cool
and white
t-shirt.
outfits planned.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun, and like I am beyond excited for this trip. It's just a great affirmation of all the training and how hard all of us work all the time, and to be there with you and to be there with Jesse and like our friends like Maddie, who also like trains very hard, like our friends Bobby and Morgan, who are both also coaches at One Academy and also qualified.
Yeah, we're surrounded by a lot of very fast, fit people. So going with a group makes it fun. Always, I think, I've done the solo race trip and it can be hard out there. So, having a built-in cheer squad, it helps, as we know. Like, I'm expecting you guys to be loud in my ear when I'm racing on Friday morning.
I'm always loud.
I know you are.
Especially on days where I'm not racing. What a blessing that is, too. I can really send that.
I need a lot of chatter in my ear.
All right, let's go through a quick rapid fire here for how we're feeling like entering the week. Favorite station for you entering this race?
Favorite station, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say wall balls. I'm not saying...
Whoa.
It's not because
That's a surprise.
It's not because it's my best station, because it's not.
Is it because it's the last station? That doesn't count.
I'm happy that it's over.
Like it's the last thing I'm going to see.
Something that I do very well in running races is have a strong finish. I'm able to tap into another gear, and I always save a little bit in the tank to speed up. Almost always. The equivalent of that in HYROX is wall balls. I do believe it is very mental, and there's a lot of negotiating with yourself during that 4 to 5 minute period when you're doing them. My hope for this race is that I don't negotiate with myself and that I execute really well, knowing that I'm going to be going into this station extremely fatigued because I am going to be more aggressive in the actual race itself. And I do believe that I am mentally strong enough to muscle through and not put the ball down as much, or put the ball down, but not take very long before I pick it back up.
I think favorite station for me is going to be, I'm just going to open up and say the ski.
Oh, yes. Well,
I just think it's like also
you're very good at that.
It's like, I think it's a great way to ease into the race. That generally gets the blood pumping for me in a good way. And the run after the ski oftentimes feels better than the run before the ski. Scariest station for you?
Right now, lunges.
That's a scary one.
I had a really not good lunge station in Ottawa, and I was kind of shocked because I did pull back a bit more on the runs, but it felt very hard. And anyways, I'm hoping it goes better, but I'm not looking forward to it.
I'm going with burpees.
But you're so good at burpees.
You can be good at them, but it gets my heart rate up the highest of any station that we're going to do
live
through
in
this
those
race.
180.
It will get me into the mid to high 180s, and
I live there.
And being in a world championship environment, I'm going to be probably flooring that, and I definitely probably will be doing a little bit more there, I think, than Max. Like, just judging off like what our strengths are, I expect him to also be doing more like
sleds.
the push and the pull.
Yeah,
and it's like, so this is a station where it's like it's my turn to carry
You
the
gotta
bag.
execute.
And I'm going to be just holding on to his coattails on that run, the same way that I was holding on to your coattails during that workout today.
Yeah.
What's your biggest taper mistake, do you think, entering this event? Or do you have one? Or are you feeling that you've actually tapered appropriately?
I'm going to taper appropriately this time because I made a mistake last time. My mistake the last 2 races was in Houston, way too aggressive of a taper. I did not touch the gear as much as I should have, and I think that affected the race.
It left you feeling flat.
So going into Ottawa, I was like, I'm going to touch the gear. And then I went a little too much and did too much of the strength stuff with the push, and my legs were genuinely sore heading into race weekend, which was not good. And I was stressed about that. I'm like, God damn it, I messed this up, and I feel really bad.
We talked about that too, entering that race. And you were like, I did a workout yesterday. I was like, oh, what did you do? And you're like, well, we did full sled push. And I was like, why would you do that?
It was such an error. But
like pro sled push,
Oh, God.
full distance. I was like, are you trying to blow up your things? We have 3 races this weekend.
This is why I believe that experience matters, because it's not the same taper that you do for a running race. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. So heading into this race, the plan that I have, I think I talked about this a bit earlier, I'm not going to touch strength really after this week. Like, I might do a bit in kind of one of the threshold sessions on Thursday, but then race week, it's running only, strides. If we can find a gym, I'd love to do some of the station work or something.
I'm sure we can find a HYROX gym around Strawberry Arena somewhere.
Yes, or
There's
just
no doubt.
enter the warm-up zone or something.
Or we can just start swimming. Jesse said that he's got.
I'm not starting
for like the Ironman stuff.
I am not gonna swim. Nothing new on race week. Terrible.
We'll save it for after. What's your food that you're looking forward to most in Stockholm?
Okay, maybe I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. I think it's something, fika. Fika is something that, I don't know how to describe it. You do in Sweden, it's like coffee crawl-esque.
Oh, so you're just looking forward to like kind of like doing the pastries.
Pastry, coffee, crawl. 100%. The way that I would love to spend each morning is wake up, go on a run or a walk, and then hop around from different cafes and get coffee and pastries and food, and then go exploring in the afternoon, and then have a nice dinner, and then have an early bed.
My friend Reese recommended the cinnamon buns.
Ooh.
Which I'm sure, like, I'm a sweet, like, pastry person in that regard. I could definitely rock a cinnamon bun after a run, and it would feel pretty good. Maybe
a
not
cinnamon
in the
bun
morning,
would be good.
But I know you're not a sweets person in the morning.
know.
But, like, we'll wait till the afternoon.
I'm
Cinnamon
more
buns
of like
unlock.
a savory cheese scone or croissant girl.
Swedish meatballs.
Easy one. Can't believe I missed it.
Yeah, it's they're available at IKEA.
I think we should try the
have
IKEA
better
ones
there.
They probably do, but I'm sure the IKEA ones are better than the ones here.
The IKEA one. So you want to go to IKEA? Just
The
to be clear, you
Swedish
want to go to
IKEA.
Sweden, IKEA in Sweden, and try the meatballs at that IKEA.
It's the culture.
Do you want to try the meatballs at IKEA here before we go?
Maybe when we come back. Comparison after. I
No,
can't be introducing weird meats right now.
You'd have to introduce it before, because if you introduce it after, you're gonna be like, "This is disgusting. Why do people line up for this?"
It's probably true.
You're gonna
I
have to
prefer
have
the hot dogs.
You're gonna
I
have
really
to have
prefer the hot dogs.
Honest conversation with my sister, who loves the Swedish meatballs at IKEA.
I can't say if I do or don't because I have not had them in a while, but I'm definitely a big fan of the hot dogs. So overall, I think the food, the vibes, the culture, it's all going to be awesome. I definitely don't want to... Yeah, and the furniture. I don't want to hold back. I think that's one of the issues with when you travel for a race. You don't indulge exactly in the same way leading up, but I'm definitely planning on having alcohol race week. So
we're just saying.
I had an awesome workout today, and I drank a lot of drinks yesterday, so I feel fine. Everything will be fine.
All right, let's go through our official predictions, and we'll just do all the E15 races across the board. We'll do men's podium.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I still like, as we discussed earlier, Alex Ronchevich. I think that he is like the world record holder. He seems to be in very fit shape.
No need to justify.
Yeah. I like Big Al to win this event outright. I do think that Tim will probably come in second.
Are you going to steal my podium?
Well, I don't know. It depends on who you have for number 3.
Who do you think?
I think I'll go with Dylan Scott.
Oh,
I think that he's been working really hard. I think he has had some good results at majors, but I don't think that we've seen his full display of fitness to this point. I know that he usually races better on American soil, but I have confidence in his ability to get it done. I think that he deserves it. I think that his fitness has been there. And I think that Nike gets on the podium with their athlete in Dylan Scott.
This is so tough because I want Dylan to podium. I don't see a world that Tim doesn't get on the podium, though. I think Tim will be on the podium, and I think Alex wins.
So that's like who is
third? And I do.
Be Hede.
What I foresaw before you mentioned Dylan was Ronchevich wins, Tim is second, and I think they're going to run a lot of the race together. I think they're both going to push each other as doubles partners in the solo event. So I do think we see them tag teaming in that way.
Do you like Cole?
I want Cole third. I think Cole could be a dark horse for third.
I love Cole.
Then I'm going to add one more.
We're doing a bonus one?
Hunter goes fourth, and I think it's super close between Hunter and Cole.
So you think it's Al, Tim,
Cole,
Hunter,
Dylan. Why don't we just do the full 15?
Yeah, exactly. We're doing a top 15 ranking.
Rich Ryan. I'd like Rich Ryan to have a race he's proud of.
I would love to see Cole on that podium. I think he's definitely going to be a contender.
It might be a stretch. I think that's my stretch goal.
There are a lot of really strong athletes in this field. I do think that Cole is probably
top
in
5.
contention.
I think he's top 5.
I think who I'm interested to watch, who I'm most interested to watch probably is actually Luke Greer. Because his running has been mega dialed, and now we've seen his progression throughout the season. He's just got to
deliver on those stations.
He does. But I think his running is at a point that will make him competitive as long as he can find a way to grind through those lunges, which is where he's really faded in some of these races up to this point.
Yeah.
I'll be really interested to watch his race. I do agree with you. I do think that it's like Al, Tim, like Hidde Wiersma, who the former world record holder. I think he's going to be in the mix. I think him and Cole could be in contention and Dylan, for that matter. It's like those three are going to be sniffing around.
The only reason why I don't think Hidde is going to be as close to the top as we think is because we heard him talk about how he felt so ready to go for the world record a few months ago, and I think that might have been the goal race for him. It's not to say that he can't take advantage of that fitness and execute in Sweden, but I do think we have to consider how these athletes are peaking because it kind of comes down to that when they're all so close.
One thing with Hidde in particular, and we'll just leave it at that because I'm like, we could get into these athletes in particular. It's like he obviously went through a lot this year. He was talking about, I was listening to the Rock's Life. It's like his dad died and he was having bad results at majors because his training was interrupted. And he was like, I'm peaking for that last major in London, and then he's like, I'm gonna skip Warsaw, and then I'm gonna race again. So we'll see what Stockholm. He puts together for sure. It's gonna be a super fascinating race. The women's race, I think, is less interesting. You can lock in 2 of the podium spots. I think we're both, and Lauren and Joanna.
I think it's going to be Joanna Lauren.
Yeah, and I think Joanna wins.
Based
off of she did the clean sweep, won all 4.
I think she pulls it out. And if she doesn't, then amazing for Lauren. Love that for her.
Yeah, it would be a huge upset after Joanna won all 4 majors this year for Lauren to be able to pull that off. Who do you like at number 3?
This is tough because I agree with what you said about Vivian, but I kind of hope Sinead gets there, and I could really see that for her. And then if I were to see Calypso or Alyssa in that top 5, I'd be super stoked for them, as they're like
the up-and-comers.
Yes, they're new to the Elite 15. So again, I think experience matters. I think knowing your competitor matters, and they don't yet. So I think they're both going to have a really strong result and race, or they're going to get caught up in the field and have a bad result, which we also see happen to very talented athletes. It's one thing to win Miami or Houston or Toronto when the field is it's not deep. It's not a deep field. It's a whole other thing to win one of these elite races.
I also like Joanna. I think Lauren pushes her. Like, and to be fair, it's like I wouldn't be surprised if Lauren was able to pull up the upset, but just given the track record this season, Joanna's just locked in and on a different level.
Yeah.
I do like Vivian for 3rd.
I'd be really happy for Vivian for 3rd.
I would be happy for her too. She's really grinding this season. It seems like she's trying to get to that next level of the Lauren Joanna thing.
She's probably also gotten so much more knowledge and fitness from racing with Lauren and being pushed by her on the runs that she's probably like, I can enter a pain cave that I didn't even know I could enter before racing with Lauren.
Well, it's a fair point because Lauren at the beginning of the season had a different doubles partner. It was Lauren Griffith.
Yeah, Lauren Squared.
Who was kind of going through...
I think she was injured. I
Yeah.
think she was injured, and it was probably a difficult conversation, but I would understand from Lauren Week's perspective of like, I'm kind of in my prime and I need a partner that I can like win
Count
with.
on. And win now.
Because Lauren and Lauren won in Chicago together. They're obviously a very good pairing and match, but you know, you can't race with someone that's injured or not at their best when you're going for gold. Like, she's not just...
No, she's at her peak.
Yeah.
They're at peak fitness right now.
She needs someone that
now,
can match her. Every year matters, and every race matters.
Yes. So for Vivian now joining Lauren halfway through the season and then qualifying, it's like they are the current world record holders. Also, by
They're
the
the
way,
favorite by far.
Yeah, we'll just go into that.
Yeah.
Women's Elite 15 doubles, I do like them as the favorite.
They're going to win for sure.
And Joanna and Jess should be second.
They should be second. I think we could see a really strong performance from Sinead and Lucy. I also think that Calypso and Meg are going to put on a really good performance. And then we also have Morgan Schultz and Kat Fassbender, the U.S. Doubles pairing as well. They've been racing a lot more together recently, and I just think they're a really fun pairing. I would love to see them have a good day. I think they're working really, really hard.
I'm interested to watch Charlie Searle and Lauren Stockley.
They are
compete.
Also very, very fast.
They're fast. They've had a kind of an up and down season where they qualified, and then they had a penalty and got eliminated. God. It was like there was a lot of drama. And this is another international pairing with Charlie being from the UK, Lauren being from Wales.
Probably their last race together.
It is now.
Unless they don't want to go into the Elite 15, which we know they do.
So unfortunately, they will have to find new partners. Now it's kind of ends up being a game of musical chairs where for them...
Let's see who gets paired up with who next year.
Yeah, and how many other... I feel actually worse for Lauren because how many elite HYROX athletes are from Wales? It's like I forget the footballer.
Maybe she'll go full on for
Christian
solo.
Bale? Is that who it was? No.
Christian Bale's an actor, but
am I tripping
super
right now?
close. I don't think that's right.
Anyways.
Yeah, well, we'll just skirt past that one. But yeah, watching them race together will be awesome.
Gareth Bale.
Yeah, that sounds more accurate.
Gareth is a much more Welsh name.
And are we now...
Christian Bale is Batman.
We're going to maybe do a little prediction for our own... Oh, no, the men's doubles.
It's
Alex and Tim.
Yeah, and what happens after that is kind of
Dylan and his partner I think are pretty competitive. Steven.
Yeah. No,
I don't know as much who would have the leg up here. I think Charlie Botterill and his partner have been...
Jake Dearden.
Yeah, they've been doing some good races. They've also had some tragic races where Charlie just straight up missed the turn and ran an extra lap before wall balls. That was very hard to watch, but I think they could have a really strong performance together. That'll be a fun one. I think it's kind of anyone's game, to be honest.
Who's my dark horse in that one? As I really like that Danish pairing, Gustav Kordur and Sebastian Effersen.
Oh, I like Sebastian Effersen. He is part of the mixed relay world record holder with Sinead, Joanna, and I think Charlie, actually.
Well, they're kind of an interesting pairing because they always seem to do really well in the doubles. Their team chemistry is on point. Obviously, their running is on point. Like, it's been a really awesome pairing to watch. Seba actually made the E15 in solos this year, so a big breakthrough for him.
Yeah.
He's definitely been on a huge upswing. So I'm fascinated to watch them. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, it's just like it's a coin flip. I do think Tim and Al take the win outright.
They're going to walk away with a lot if they get on the podium for both. A lot of money on the board.
It could be a lot of hardware for those two.
I don't think we get any money for going. We just had to pay our way.
Well, it's like
we're there for the privilege of competing.
No, it's exciting. It's exciting to go and represent your country, represent like your family. It's an exciting opportunity, and we're looking forward to being in Stockholm and just enjoying that experience. Getting out of Toronto for a couple weeks in the summer.
Yeah, I think I'm going to post a lot on my own social media and just share everything about World Championships because I think it's fun. I think people want to see, and for my own video and photo diary, I want to capture the moment and be present in the moment at the same time.
We can do both. We'll save the race recaps for
after the race, obviously.
But yeah, we obviously will be in Sweden, so we'll try to get a recap to you for the Tuesday after, but it might be a couple days.
We land that day, so
yeah, so we might be
definitely
tired
not
from the
that
trip.
Day.
Yeah,
that week. Yeah, something will come out for sure.
Yeah, but we'll be locked in for the next couple of weeks. We are very happy to have everybody back here listening. We're committed to bringing you the content. We're excited for Worlds. It's going to be a super fun trip heading to Stockholm. And we will eat lots of salted fish, cinnamon buns, Swedish meatballs, and have some Swedish beer. And we'll be on the fika, the coffee crawl. Yeah, we're doing it all, and we are going to be living lagom.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is the Swedish style of life.
Balanced living. It's my mantra.
Living lagom.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well,
if you enjoyed this episode, share it with all your HYROX friends who are going to be watching the World Championships for our preview. And in the meantime, stay aerobic AF.